Hello, YouTube, video number 2 for me. Goodness me, look at me cracking them out. So last video that I did, I talked about how devastated I was to be getting rid of my Aprilia RSV1000 and I'd made the decision to upgrade to a new Yamaha R1 2015 model. Not a decision that I took lightly. Anyway, I've done it. It's the following Saturday, so we're 1 week on from the last video. This morning I rode round to Frankston Yamaha, which is kind of outside Melbourne, and yeah, part exchanged the Aprilia. Said a sad goodbye to my Italian V-twin. It was interesting on the ride down there. I actually got really quite sad. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Emotionally attached to a machine. But yeah, I sort of popped my last few wheelies on the way down there and enjoyed the V-twin rumble. And was kind of getting a little bit emotional. Oh my God, I've got to see it, let it go. And then as I rode into the dealership, I caught my reflection in the window as I rode past the showroom, and the bike looked great with the glistening gold wheels. And I thought, oh my God, I don't want to let it go. The emotional highs and lows. But then I walked into the dealership and I saw the R1 waiting for me. Now, I had a few little things done to it. So it's largely standard, but I had a few extras put on. So I've had them put on the Krapovich end can, and I've also had them put on the link pipe and remove the catalytic converter. They've put on the sort of blade-shaped frame protectors. I'll show you all this in a second, and the billet engine covers just to protect the crankcase should the worst happen, which hopefully it won't. I changed out the levers as well, so the clutch and brake levers. I thought on the standard bike, they just looked a little bit cheap. They looked like they were mild steel or something. So put some nice dark billet items on there. They look quite racy. Anyway, I looked at it and went, wow, it just looks epic. It's the red and white one. I think a lot of people seem to prefer the blue one, but for me, I just love the red one. I think it's awesome. It's not a very photogenic bike, I've found. And a lot of the photos that I've seen of it, and videos as well, I've looked at it and gone, meh, like, it's okay, but doesn't really excite. But in the flesh, it just looks so much better. The red is really vivid. It's like a Ducati red. It's really vivid, which is good because my helmet's bright red as well. So colour's important, guys. Sound like such a girl. I'll have the red one. What red ones have you got? But no, I like it, red and white. So it looked awesome. That was good. That was a good start. And then they wheeled it outside. We started it up, and oh my word, it's loud. It's really, really loud. It's a lot louder than I thought it was going to be. But putting that link pipe on and removing the catalytic converter, it really opens it up. It sounds amazing. Now, I haven't done a power commander. I was told that you don't need to. It just bolts straight on, and the thing certainly seems to run very, very well without having adjusted anything. So I might plug a power commander in later on down the track and get it all tuned up, put a new air filter in, but trust me guys, you don't need to. Power is not a problem with this thing. By comparison to the Aprilia, it does feel like riding a spaceship, and I have now no regrets whatsoever, and it definitely feels like an upgrade. So has it lived up to its expectations on the first ride home? Absolutely, and then some, good lord. The motor is ballistic. That engine, suddenly the Aprilia felt like a 600. That engine is just insane. It pulls so hard, you're just a passenger. I haven't even had it in the top power mode setting yet. I've been running it in the second power mode, and that's been plenty for today. Just ballistically fast. It just pulls through the gears, and it just destroys cars and anything. Insane. You actually feel like you're on a MotoGP bike. I've got a very vivid imagination, and definitely was having delusions of Rossi as I came back. But you know, the riding position, that really cool LCD color display on that they have as the dash, the way the bike goes, the acceleration, and the sound of it, it sounds like a GP bike, or to my ears anyway. Tomorrow, I'm actually going to Phillip Island to watch Rossi in the flesh, so I'll be able to compare what the real ones sound like. And but it has that same engine note, which is very clever. Well done, Yamaha. Great job. Love your work. So Not just the power though, the handling, it feels so tight and together compared to my Aprilia. It feels like it's, you know, hewn from a block of granite. It's that together and tight. The suspension is hard, I'd say that. The suspension on the Aprilia was more compliant over the harsher bumps. So, you know, you get these poorly surfaced roads from time to time. You definitely feel those through the saddle and into your backside. On the Yamaha a lot more than I did on the Aprilia, but that's all right, doesn't matter. On the smooth surface and on the highway and on the faster roads, it's just laser guided and feels just locked on target, you know, really good. The brakes are awesome. When I took it for a test ride, I was a little bit concerned that the brakes lacked a little bit of initial bite, but they had the power. It just felt a little soft. Interestingly, since changing the brake lever and putting that race lever on, it feels like it's got more bite. So I don't know if that's just been adjusted slightly or if that's just my imagination, but yeah, brakes are awesome. Not a problem there at all for me anyway. The electronics are astonishing. And this is coming from somebody who is like, I'm not Valentino Rossi, I'm an average road rider. I've lost the ability to speak and enunciate. And yet it just helps. So I took a bit of a leap of faith. I found a little bit of a stretch of empty road. Made sure that obviously the electronics were just in their default modes, in the second power mode, mode B, I think it's called. Clicked it into second gear, hung on, and opened the throttle completely, and just let it rip. And the lift control, I guess it lets the front wheel comes up. It comes up maybe, I don't know, feels like a few inches, maybe no more than 6 inches, I would say. Maybe it's about 6 inches. And it just holds it there as you disappear down the road at a ferocious rate. And of course, it's got the quick shifter, so you haven't got to muck about with, you know, backing off the throttle. You just click into the next gear. The front wheel twitches a little bit as it comes back down, and then it pops back up again. I was getting power wheelies in 4th gear, which is mental. And I was able to hang on to that. And look, I'm not a wheelie expert. I can't find the balance point or anything like that. Power wheelies are my thing. It just made you feel like a racer, you know? And you see them coming down the back straight of some of those racetracks with the front wheel just hovering nicely off the ground. And you think, wow, and what that would feel like. I now know what it feels like, thanks to Yamaha's lift control. And it feels awesome. It's just so good. It allows you to focus on the important things like controlling your bowels, because it is a fast bike. I've never ridden anything like it. It is so powerful, and it just hauls with the electronics keeping you on the straight and narrow, making sure nothing's getting out of shape. And you've got this background wail coming from the exhaust and the air intake that just makes you feel like you're on Phillip Island yourself and you're hurtling down the back straight. The only problem with it is so damn fast, I'm going to have to watch the speed. It just wants to go. It's a track bike. I'm using it to ride to work every day through the city. Awesome. It's completely preposterous and ridiculous to use a bike like this to do what I'm going to do and just ride to work on it every day. It's way too loud. It's way too fast. It's way too stiffly sprung. And to my mind, that makes it absolutely perfect. So is it everything I wanted it to be? Yes, and more so. And for the money, I do not think you could buy another bike to touch it. Even excluding the money element, I can't imagine that, you know, the new Aprilia or the Panigale or the S1000R, which I did have a go of, that don't feel as, it doesn't feel as special, doesn't feel like a GP bike, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to feel like I was on a GP bike, and this just, it does. So, okay, that's enough of me rambling and frothing about how amazing the damn thing is, and I'll take you for a walk around the bike now. Okay, so here she is, the new Yamaha R1, and isn't she a beauty in the sunshine? The red, really vivid, really pops nicely. As I said, I've put a few things on it, not too much. Little tail tidy over the back there. We've got the Akrapovic end can and link pipe, so you can see the catalytic converter's been removed there. That not only makes it sound indecently loud and excellent, but it also just reduces the weight by 7 kilos. which is not insignificant. I also put these little bad boys on, the crankcase protectors, if you can see those. They're kind of cool. Very expensive for what they are, but I guess they're billet, so you know, it is what it is. And these little bladey things, which as well as looking cool, these are your frame protectors, sliders, which is nice because you know, the round ones, I've never really liked the look of those, but these are kind of funky. So all good. They were expensive as well, really, but whatever. The wheels, yes, it has wheels, 2 of them. My God, revolutionary from Yamaha, a world first. Well, the fact that they're made out of magnesium, I believe, is a bit of a first. And there are their own brake calipers as well, which don't look as fancy as Brembo's. I have to give them that. They don't look as fancy as Brembo's, but they work very, very well. I'm happy with them. It's fine. What else did I do to it? These little levers here. They're a bit funky, right? Very funky. Much better initial bite, is my opinion. Anyway, I don't know if that's real or just my perception. The perception is reality. So there we go. Alright, momentarily, I'll get on the bike and I'll show you the dash, because the dash is funky as well. There it is. Oh yes, the other thing, the tail unit. How cool is this? You have these little holes. Hello, you can reach right through. I don't know why I find that pleasing, but I do. Beautiful. Okay, so here we are with the dash on. Yeah, you have to excuse me if the camera starts shaking. There's a really annoying little fly that keeps on buzzing around my head. One of the joys of living in Australia is all the flies. Anyway, I'm distracted. I'm not an entomologist, come to give you a view on the insect life of this vast continent. Right, so here is the dashboard. I haven't really played with it yet. I've only had the bike for a couple of hours. The first thing though is really crisp and clear and easy to read. It's probably the nicest display of this sort I've ever seen. Really great vivid colours. It also changes colour automatically. It has a little photo sensor. So at night time, it reverses it goes black on white rather than white on black. So it's easy to read at night. I have no idea how effective that is yet because it has not been ridden in the dark yet. You have got these different power modes. You can see in the bottom left hand corner it says mode B. I guess that's kind of like you know, fast road setting, track setting as well. Mode A is the most full-on, full power, most aggressive setting. And then you've got, to the right of that, you've got power, traction control and the slide control. And you can adjust all of those individually, or you can just flip between the modes and accept the automatic settings that it has. I've got it in mode B, which is the second most powerful. That's what I've been riding it around on. I haven't adjusted any of the power, traction control and slide control settings within that. I've left it in default, and good lord, I've been very, very happy with it. It's maybe a little bit aggressive for trickling through town, so I might try mode C at some point for that. You can't adjust it while you're riding though, you have to be stopped to do that. Other than that, it does a whole load of cool things. So you can see the that little bar going up there, that's me just squeezing the brake there, is making that go up and down. It's a completely useless feature. Why you would ever need to look at that, I have no idea. And also, I haven't really got to squeeze it all that hard before it's maxed out, you know, so I think it's more of a gimmick, but it's kind of cool, right? It's kind of cool. I actually like the fact it's got a gear indicator. It sounds really dumb, right? But just knowing what gear the damn bike is in, even after having ridden for so many years, I still find myself forgetting what gear I'm in from time to time. Yes, I know, it probably just means I suck. But the fact that it's got a nice bold gear indicator, really handy. The gearing on this is pretty long. Apparently it does like 165 kilometers an hour in first gear, which is mental. But I have to say as well, it's got plenty of grunt. It does actually pull the higher gears, you know, pretty well. I certainly haven't been frustrated by the gearing. Highway speed limit here is 100 k's. In top gear, I guess it's a little bit fluffy. Not fluffy, it's not right. Like, it doesn't accelerate with massive urgency from 100 k's in 6th gear, but it's certainly plenty punchy enough for overtaking cars and the like. and the gearbox is an absolute joy to use. So you know, tapping it down a cog isn't a problem, and then you're really off. So yeah, here we go. This fuel tank right here. There you go. You get a lovely crotch shot. It's less bulbous, the fuel tank, not my crotch, than the Aprilia was. So it's actually more comfortable. The riding position is marginally more comfortable than the Aprilia. Still very racy. It's not comfortable. You've still got low bars there. You're still definitely in a racing position. But I think the bars are closer than they were in the Aprilia. So I'm not quite as stretched out. So I definitely felt more comfortable in terms of the riding position. And then less comfortable if you go over a bump. Like a ridge or a seam in the motorway, you definitely feel that through your pants harder than you did do on the Aprilia. But as I said, it just all lends to the impression that you are on a race bike, and I'm entirely fine with that. I quite like the top of the yoke here, the top of the suspension forks. That's what they are, isn't it? Forks. Preload 10. I don't know what that is. Compression 10 tension. I don't actually know what that stands for. I probably will never fiddle with them. I'm not that kind of person. I don't really know enough. I'll probably just bugger it up if I tried messing around with that. I just like the fact that they're gold and shiny. And come on guys, I suspect that there are plenty of you out there that are exactly the same, right? So there, that's the bike. I might give it a start up and a little bit of a rev. Show you what it's like. So there it is, the new beast. Very, very happy with it. Been very, very impressed just in the first day. And yeah, sorry I couldn't rev it too much more than that, but yeah, living in a domesticated area here. I'm unpopular enough as it is, just riding in and out every day without letting a thing crackle and bang and pop fire on my driveway and rev it round to the full 14,500 revs. Yeah, so you just have to have that little taster of it. Anyway, thanks for your time. Hope you liked the video and my insights into the differences between the Aprilia and the R1. Both wonderful bikes, but the R1's definitely next generation. If you're thinking about getting one, I hope this helps inform your decision. All right, adios, have a good day.